Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Speaking of Zane, June 23rd, 2024, 285th episode of Speaking of Zane. Well, how about that? Good to have you all in here tonight. In summer, we are in the 90s here in North Georgia. But you know what? It hadn't been too humid. Got the yard work done today. I know it's been really oppressive across the Midwest there, approaching 100 or greater than 100 in some areas. But good to have you all in here. Ken's in there, Lori's in there, S2's in there, Carl's in there, Matt Aaron is in there. Good to have you all joining us tonight for Speaking of Zane, where we just are in the business of making sure he's not forgotten. And if this brings awareness to others that might be in his situation, all the better. So we can prevent the tragedy that befell us that January 31st, 2016, when we lost him. Just a terrible tragedy for sure. And then fast forward, over almost 8 years, and we lose another son, his big brother, Tyler. It's just hard to even comprehend, hard to imagine how a family continues. Now, we don't pretend that our tragedy or our loss is any worse than anyone else's. Absolutely. You all have suffered, many of you have suffered losses for sure. And everybody's experience is different. But it's amazing how, and I guess, you just keep going because you don't have a choice. I mean, you have a mortgage, you have student loans, you have bills to pay, you've got family that you love, you've got, all kind of stuff. It's hard to imagine. And I tell you, sometimes in the moment, you feel like you can't go on. You feel like there's absolutely nothing else that even matters at this point. And yeah, I tell you what, you can feel like just the regular day to day. You can feel like your job. You can feel like it's just why. It's like nothing else even matters anymore. Nothing comes close to um, rising to the. I don't know. It's a tough thing. I'll tell you, man. Um, 8 years on, and now almost a year from losing Tyler, and I don't have any answers. I'll tell you that for sure. It is it is amazing that a human being can keep going after something like that. Um, we do. Everybody reacts differently, responds differently, for sure. And largely, I think that response is driven by everything else that you have going on in your life and all of that. But it's just I tell you what, some days I go on my afternoon walk, and I might just cry the whole doggone 2, 3 miles. It's just that's a time when I shut everything else out, and sometimes my boys come to me, and it's just I'm not thinking about anything else, and just thinking about them. Dreamed about them last night, in fact. Um, Lori has these dreams um, where the boys will be running from her and she's trying to catch them. The symbolism to that is just incredible. She says that they will come to the door and she can't open the door for them. She can't open the door. And then they will turn around and run away and she can't catch them. It's just, I tell you what, sometimes we might look like we're getting along just fine. We might look like, we're making it. But I'm going to tell you what, it is freaking hard. It is absolutely hard. But, doing this, talking about it, talking about them, for me anyway, is helpful for sure. Um, I probably wouldn't share these things if it wasn't for this forum, this avenue that we've created through Facebook or YouTube. But um, rest assured, no matter how, um, and I know that many of you, are feel the same thing. No matter how okay you might look on the outside, it's it's not always what it appears. But anyway, this is helpful for me. But you know what? Sometimes I start out these with like birthdays or anniversaries. And last week I had in my notes, sorry to get a little heavy on the front end here, but um, I forgot to wish our daughter Charlotte a happy birthday last week. I had it in my notes and I forgot to mention it. She's my travel buddy, overachiever, and wished her a happy birthday last week. June the 15th is her birthday, and I always joke with her that I think it's July the 15th. I've done that since she was a little girl. No, Dad, it's June the 15th. I don't know how old she is. Lori can tell you in the chat. I think she was born in 1997, maybe. Lori, help me, something like that, which would make her what, 24, 24, 25, 26, 27. She's maybe 27 or 28, something like that. But just a remarkable young lady. I love her to death, like I do all of them. But we do have a special bond. 95, Lori says she was born 95. Maybe Jackson was 97. I'm terrible at birthdays and dates and stuff like that. Lori is fantastic at it, and we have a dozen grandkids, and she knows every one of them's birthday. But anyway, speaking of grandkids, talk about being good for the soul. Grandkids are, and our little granddaughter Carson, who lives here in town, her parents wanted to go out and take a little bit of a break, and they asked me if I would keep Carson. She likes to come over for sleepovers with Granddaddy, and so I said yes, and she came over. I tell you what, that girl is a handful. She's 4. She'll be 5 in November, but she takes every single minute. Now, her cousin Everett, who's 7, he can keep himself occupied, keep himself busy. Not this girl. She takes continuous human interaction. It's almost exhausting. Anyway, she came over about maybe 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon after going to the pool. And I thought that might have made her tired, but it didn't. She was up till midnight, which meant I was up till midnight. But anyway, and she was up before the chickens. And Granddaddy, is it time to get up? But hey, Daryl, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, that's the one, Carl. Yeah, she's Carl remembers my post. She ordered last time she stayed with us. Said, what do you want for dinner? Pizza. Well, what kind of pizza? Pepperoni. Okay. Her mom ordered it. And the pepperoni pizza gets here, and she commences to take all the pepperoni slices off. And I'm like, why are you doing that? I just like the cheese. I'm like, I gave her the choice of cheese pizza. Anyway, who knows what they think, how they think. But Lori did offer to take her, but Lori is still recovering from surgery, and it's taken a little bit longer maybe than she thought. And with these grandkids, they jump around and climb in her bed. They love to snuggle with their Grammy. They love their Grammy 10 times more than they love me. And I'm okay with that, but they just climb all over her, and she's had some abdominal surgery. And anyway, she stayed with me, and she was fine. She watched all kind of stuff on YouTube and everything. But anyway, so she spent the night, was up before dark. Granddaddy, wake up. Granddaddy, wake up. But then we had the most incredible surprise this afternoon. We had about an hour and a half's notice, I guess. But our granddaughter, Paisley, who is Zane's daughter, who lives in Maine because her new dad, Will, is in the Navy stationed up there. And so anyway, Abigail and Paisley were in town for something, visiting her parents who live here, just the two of them. And anyway, they came over to see us. And oh, that little girl is so sweet. She says, Granddaddy, I've missed you. And she's just so adorable. She's, what is she, 9, I think. She's about to be 10 in July. Lori will know her birthday. I don't, but it's in July. But anyway, Paisley's just so sweet. She's Zane's daughter. She didn't know her dad. She was, I don't even know if she was 1 when Zane passed, but Zane really didn't get to know her that well through the life circumstances and everything. Just a horrible thing. But this little girl is so precious. And, there's a bunch of pictures of Zane and everything, and pictures of Zane with Colton. And she says, oh, that's Zane. That's Colton with Zane and everything. She knows that Zane was her daddy, but she has a new daddy, Will. That's all she's ever known. He's a great guy in the Navy. But wow, what a treat it was to have her over, and she's just so adorable. but her mom drove. They drove over, and her her mom Abigail drove her mom Donna's new Chevrolet Corvette C8. So white, just like pristine white um, Corvette C8, an incredible vehicle. She says, "I have no idea what I'm doing, guy. I'm so afraid I'm gonna wreck this thing." I said, "Just don't put it in launch mode, and you'll be okay." But anyway, okay. Let's see who else we got in here. I mentioned Matt's in there. Yeah, Matt. How are you doing, buddy? I know Matt had some. Matt, was it on your spine? Was it something to do with the vertebrae and stuff? I hope you're recovering okay, buddy. I've been thinking about you. I told your wife that, Katie, but I hope you're doing well. Are you off work for a while? How's that working for you? Yeah, Paisley, they have a daughter, Paisley. Matt's one of Zane's battle buddies. Matt and Katie have a daughter named Paisley. She'll be 10 in October, so they were born the same year. Yeah, Katie, it was so great to see her. She's just such a sweet girl. She has to be. And she's tough, though. She's very tough because she's got 5 brothers under that house, in that house, under that roof. She has to hold her own, but she is just an awesome little girl. Colin Crim's in there. Hey, Colonel, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, too easy on the hat of the week there, Ken. Yeah, he's Ken and Daryl are always ahead of me on the hat of the week there. They sometimes I feel like Ken and Daryl are in a little bit of competition for the hat of the week, but anyway, more about that in a minute. Okay, well, let's see. So that was great on the grandkid front, and talked about Lori. Lori's probably not recovering as fast as she had hoped, but she is better than she was last week. But we'll see what happens there. Oh, thank you for the details there, Katie. I knew Katie would get it in there. Matt, those are a lot of big words for an Army guy. So good job, Katie. Well, we're praying for you, Matt. Thinking about you there, buddy, and hopefully you'll heal up just fine. You're a pretty strong dude. All right. Well, let's see. Travel. I always talk about travel because I traveled for 6 straight weeks. This last week was the first week out of 7 that I was home every single day of the week, and I really got caught up a lot. I got a lot done. But I think I've got a trip. I need to run to St. Louis for a day. July the 16th, I think. July the 16th, maybe come home the 17th because I got to go to London on the 20th. That is a Saturday the 20th. I'll be there until I think Saturday, August 2nd, something like that. Here's my development on London. So some of the folks there found out that I do this, the Running to Honor 5K, and the Running to Honor 5K, which we've done for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now, is July 27th. Well, I'll be in London on July 27th. So a bunch of the folks in the office there are going to do the 5K with me, I think. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But I may turn that into an official work thing. We'll see. So I need to get with Aaron and find out if I can just get some shirts from him, if I can order some shirts from him so I can have my colleagues in the appropriate attire. We'll see how that goes. Okay, let's see. I didn't get to listen to the Braves game today. I watched the updates. I was doing yard work and had the grandkids over, so I didn't get to listen to the Braves game, but I did check the score, and the Braves beat the Yankees today. Still 7 games behind the Phillies, though. Can't seem to break that 7-game back mark, but that's okay. But how about the College World Series? I'll tell you, like many of you, I've had the opportunity to go to the College World Series, having a connection to Omaha, and I don't know how many I've been to over the years. I remember the very first one was probably, when was the first year, Lori? 82, maybe? I think I went with Mark Basavichus maybe in summer of 82. that was been my very first College World Series in the old Rosenblatt Stadium, and kind of fell in love with the whole pomp and circumstance, and really how the whole community really rallies around that. And of course, there's no Rosenblatt anymore. It's downtown in Schwab. I think it's called Schwab Field now, is the sponsor. But I've been over the years, and been several times in the last 10 years. But anyway, my daughter's alma mater, Texas A&M, is in there. They've never won the College World Series, but they're in there. And they've made it to this current round, 3-game series. They won last night, lost today to Florida. So tomorrow it's a 3-game series. I think I'm right, Steve. He can help me. But yeah, Zesto, right there next to Rosenblatt, Carl says. But yeah, so tomorrow, I think the game is tomorrow. I don't know if it's a day game or a night game. But anyway, yesterday or last night's game was on ESPN. I was able to watch it. Today's game I couldn't find. It was on ESPN Plus. I don't know. Anyway, I'm about through with TV. I'll tell you that right now. But because you can't find, you pay $200 for TV, and you still can't find stuff, and they want you to pay for stuff, and you're just like, what? Anyway, don't get me going. But yeah. So Carl, is the game, is that Monday you said? Yeah, Monday, which is tomorrow. Yeah. So I'll be tuning in if I can find it. But yeah, Texas A&M, we fell in love with Texas A&M when Charlotte was there. What a great history that school has. Just a fascinating tradition and history and culture. And so I'm all on board anything Texas A&M. But yeah, so now they're a game apiece, and we'll see how things go tomorrow. But I always enjoy the College World Series. The company I work for, we always put on a big thing for our customers there. I've been to a couple of those over the years. But maybe I'll find a reason to be in town for work next year. But all right, well, let's see. So the hat of the week is, there you go, College World Series. This one was from, well, let's see. This one was from what, 2016. I think I've been since then, maybe 18. You can see who was in. Florida was in there. Texas Longhorns, North Carolina. But anyway, that is the hat of the week because I'm a hat guy. There's my dad. Hey, Dad. Good to have you in there. Dad is doing, my dad, he's going to be 80 years young this October. And God, if I have half the energy that he has when I'm 70, that he has at 80, I will consider myself fortunate. He is doing another project on the house. I don't know what the heck he's doing. My sister keeps sending me pictures. He's up before the roosters, and he's, and I don't know if he's doing some siding, or I don't know if he's putting in another addition, but he's nonstop, absolutely nonstop. But that's him. That is him. Okay, well, let's see. Oh, hey, Ken. Ken's in there. I'm reading his comments here. Very good. Ken's doing a little traveling. Ken does a little consulting gig on the side. He's in retirement, but what's in his brain is so important to some people that they pay him to get it out of there. So that's always a good thing, and takes him on the road every now and then. But sounds like you're going to be at Arlington. I always enjoy it there. Of course, I was just there in April, but I never get tired of that place. Just what a reverent place, and his folks are buried there. But Ken knows my requests that are there. He's visited them all several times. You know what I may do, Ken, is share with you. Zane has somebody from his unit that was killed the tour before, who is buried there. His name is Staff Sergeant Stephen Butcher. Stephen Butcher, he's buried there. Should be in section 60, Butcher. Okay, well, let's see. I didn't pull any this week in military history items. I just ran out of time, doggone it. I was edging and mowing and I had to take a shower and I cooked first time I've done this. It was on sale. I picked up normally, you did, that's right, Ken, thank you for that. I normally do a roast on Sundays, or I often do a roast on Sundays, like a traditional rump roast or whatever. This time they had something called a top sirloin roast. Top sirloin roast, and you basically broil it, and it doesn't take that long. You don't cook it in a crock pot all day like you do it like you do a roast, but like a shoulder roast or something. But this is like basically top sirloin steaks, but not cut to steaks, and you broil it. You only cook it for like an hour. And then you slice it. It's boneless. Anyway, I did one of those today. Wow, fantastic. And I got a lot of leftovers. But, cool. Okay, well, let's see. Veteran Cemetery Challenge. I think I'm right. Daryl, Dad. Oh, my sister posted some pictures today. My mom's plot at Evergreen there in Fitzgerald looks absolutely fantastic. It looks like a flower shop. It's just incredible. And they do such a great job of maintaining it. I feel so bad I hadn't got down there to see her, but I'm definitely going to. But it's just fantastic there. So Daryl, I never can remember if you've made one or two. I know you made a visit there. So I think I've got a total of 4 visits, takes us up to 1,212 visits. Yeah, okay, Daryl. Well, that takes us up to I thought it might have been 2 for you this week because you had who was it, Daryl? You had another relation out there that had a birthday this week, right? So that means 1,213 visits we've made there. And we'll continue to do that and celebrate those visits. And Think a Vet Challenge. I had, if any of you had any Think a Vet challenge, Think a Vet, or any veteran encounters, put them in the chat there. But I'll tell you, Daryl was at the hospital or at the doctor's office or something and met an Army vet called Tom this week. That was cool. I met a vet at work. This guy reached out to me. He's new to our company, just a few years younger than me. He's an Army vet, and he's only been with our company a few months. He's had an awesome career at some other tech companies, but he said, "Hey, I found out that you lead our veterans ERG, our employee resource group." And he says, I heard you run this school that we have, this academy thing. I'm like, yeah. And he says, well, I got some things I want to share with you. And he's got all these, he wrote a book. First of all, he's sending me his book that he wrote. His name is Jay, and it lives in Colorado, and just an awesome dude. And he says, yeah, I just want to share this stuff with you, and maybe you can use it, maybe not. And I think he asked me for my mailing address, so I think he sent me a copy of his book. But he's in the business of, as a hobby, as a part-time gig. He has a full-time job with us as a technologist, but on the side, he counsels, coaches, mentors young men and sports figures, college sports, veterans that are leaving the service. Right now, he lives just a few miles from the Air Force Academy, and he's coaching these Air Force Academy graduates, and it's all in this sort of so what's next kind of approach, right? So you've made it to college, you've graduated from college, you've excelled in sports. Now you're going out in your career. what next kind of thing, and it frames it up like that. But he and I are meeting a couple of weeks, and he's gonna share with me all of this stuff he's put together, and we're gonna see how we can repurpose it and use it. And he's offering this framework that he's put together. So, but his name is Jay, just a great guy. We have a mutual friend, turns out, as well. And but anyway, what a great encounter that was, Jay. Looking forward to interacting more with him. Carl had an Army vet at the Home Depot. That's a good place. Home Depot and Lowe's is always a good place to find vets. I'm going to put that one down here, Carl. And that'll add to our total. We're creeping up there in the Think a Veteran numbers. Not that we're hunting veterans in any way, but as we encounter veterans or come across veterans at work, play, school, whatever, we're purposefully having interactions or saying thank you or striking up a conversation. And then we're sharing that with each other and we're celebrating it. I mean, geez, they deserve it, right? Anybody that's put on the uniform of this country and was willing to go and do what's involved there certainly is worthy of some acknowledgement in my book. So we're currently at 2,865 times that we've done that. 2,865. So Lori, get ready to update the thank you tally, because we're approaching 3,000. Lori made a book. Well, let me share it with you. It's up here on the. See if I can point it right up there. See that? Thank you. Well, sugar. There we go. Right there we go. That thank you sign there started out with 100, then she changed it to, or 1,000. She changed it to 2,000. Now we're going to have to get ready to change it to 3,000 because you guys keep interacting with veterans. That's awesome. Let me move the camera here. There we go. All right. Well, let's see. Thank you all for playing along there. I like tallying that up, and I'm always, of course, hypersensitive to veterans, especially at the Kroger, at the Lowe's. Well, how about organizations? I have a couple of organizational updates. I mentioned, there's a new one. So thanks to Steve Shirley. Steve posted in the Speaking of Zane Facebook group. Go check it out. There is a new Nebraska Vietnam Veterans Memorial. Is that what it's called, Steve? Park, something like that. But it looks absolutely fantastic, top notch, including a Huey. So they really did a great job there. I don't know who funded that, how it all came around, but I think I might have mentioned it last week. But Steve posted some pictures, and they're absolutely fantastic. Can't wait to get up there and see that. Every state should have something like that. But thanks for doing that, Steve. I mentioned the running to honor. I might not be the only one running from outside of the country. I might have a gaggle of people with me for that in London. We'll see how things transpire. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to tell Aaron Bartle about that. And then my Warriors Place, I had a conversation with Kelly this afternoon, a text chat with Kelly. And Lori, I don't know if you've seen any pictures of Kelly lately. She's looking absolutely fantastic. She's lost a lot of weight, and not because she's sick or anything. She just says, I just felt like I needed to get healthy. But I have a message for my dad from her dad. She asked me, when are you coming back down? And I said, I said, I need to get down. I said, I tell you, I need to disconnect. I told her I've been traveling and just got a lot going at work, like all of you. I'm not anything special with having things going at work, but I said, I need to get down there and disconnect. That's what I need to go down to my warrior's place. I said, and I want to bring my dad. And she said, bring him. And I said, okay. Well, I said, he doesn't feel like he's worthy of going to my warrior's place. I'm like, she's like, what? She's like, well, you tell him that I will be offended if he doesn't come to my warrior's place. And I said, well, I'll tell him. And Dad, she can't wait to meet you. So we'll figure something out. Don't know when, but it is awful hot down there right now. But you know what? It's always hot in Florida. But we definitely need to visit. Lori likes the Blue Cabin, which, by the way, the Blue Cabin has been redone because that the flood. I haven't seen the inside, Lori. When I was down there last, they had, I don't know if they'd even started redoing the inside, but I think it's all done now. But anyway, so Kelly's looking great, and she's got so much going on down there. I just saw a bunch of people were out there, making the place even better all the time. And yeah, so she's anxious for us to get down there, and I'm anxious to get down there. So we'll have to get something on the books for sure. And by the way, if any of you, if any of you are ever in that area, you got to go to my warrior's place. But you know what? I would make it even if you don't have plans, I would make it a destination. I would purposely get something on the calendar to go visit my warrior place. You're just going to be blown away with what Kelly has put together in honor of her son, Corey. And you will enjoy it for sure. All right. Let's see. Oh, I talked to, remember, we often talk about, remember the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan a few years ago, and we lost 13 service members as a result of that catastrophe. And one of those happened to be a Marine corporal called Dagan Page from Beaver Lake, Nebraska. And not only is that a connection, but his dad worked for Cisco Systems, which I used to work for, and it's a partner of ours. And so I ended up meeting his dad and actually had him as a guest on a round table that we did last Memorial Day. But chatted with him this last week just to check in with him and see how he's doing. And he's doing fine, of course, again, outward, inward. But he wanted me to pass on to you all that regularly visit Omaha National Cemetery. Thank you for stopping and seeing his son. And, it just, I can imagine, I know what it means to us when people visit Zane. So I know it means a lot to him when people visit his son. And I know that Jimbo goes out there quite a bit, and Amy and Steve. And just thank you all from the Dagan Page family. Okay, well, let's see. I think that's it for me tonight. Well, I did have one other thing. This, we have a segment sometimes called Heroes Lost and Wounded this past week. And we had a colonel, an Air Force colonel, who was stationed up in Alaska that was killed in a private aviation accident this past week. His name's Colonel Mark Tyson Sleeton, 46, of Anchorage. He was one of two people in this Piper twin-seat aircraft that crashed in Crescent Lake near Moose Pass in Alaska there. So active duty Air Force colonel, just a shame there. So be thinking about his family. All right, gang. Well, that's about it from here at the fabulous McDonald Estate and Insane Asylum. Great to have you all in here. Always is. I cannot tell you enough how much it means to us for you to show up and listen to me bloviate, talk about Zane. And like I said, if anything we do anywhere along the way helps someone else that might be in the situation Zane was in, then anything and everything we do and more is worth it. So thank you guys for showing up regularly, and appreciate the heck out of you. And we'll look forward to seeing you again next Sunday night for Speaking of Zane.